Yes, that sounds from Run DMC. I believe that was the original mix there with Walk This Way featuring Aerosmith. Now, answer a quick question about Blue, please. Requests ended 1.5 hours ago, so stop requesting. Yeah. I'll get vicious if you're not careful. Anyway, stop requesting. And if you like requests, the Downtime Down Under is the place to be tomorrow. 6 hours of music, starting with requests with the Murloc at 9 a.m. CET. That is 2 p.m. British time. So if you're anywhere in between those, well, you can just work it out for yourself. 9 a.m. CET and 2 p.m. British Standard Time, which I believe, is that 1 hour ahead or 1 hour behind of GMT? I can't remember. We change so often, I can barely ever keep track. Anyway, now the concept I would now like to address is drama. Drama. The WoW forums are a cesspit for this kind of thing. It's incredibly easy to degenerate into a large flame war of death and create a mountain out of a molehill. And that's what happened recently on the European forums. Now, I'm not going to go into this in great detail because it's already been wanked over for 12 or 13 pages of flames. But a certain person from our guild... Now, I'm not going to name our guild, so let's just call it the H. No, that's too obvious. Let's call it T. Halibuts. A certain person from that guild left in a strop after a large bust-up. Basically, the guy went nuts, was on painkillers and alcohol, and went off the rails a bit. A bit would be an understatement. He insulted the vast majority of the guild and actively attempted to break the guild up. When people didn't follow him in this, he left in a strop, deleted all his characters. 2 weeks later, he came back and apologised for his behaviour, had the GM restore his main, and went back to playing. This lasted for about a week. We had forgiven and forgotten at this point, and then he started with the tirades of abuse again and again, and then eventually left once more. Now, this time he didn't come back. This time he went Alliance. We weren't aware of this. We thought he'd gone to another server to get out of the way of us. So we thought, okay, well, he's gone. That's his decision. It's probably for the best. The guy's gone off the rails. He's on drugs. He is drinking a lot. And quite frankly, he's not a very pleasant person to be around by right now. And that was quite upsetting because he was one of the founding members of our guild and he was a great guy. But then we discovered the hard way that he had stayed on our server and gone Alliance. We found out the hard way when he started ganking our lobbies. So we thought, okay, this is not on. We don't tolerate anyone ganking our lobbies, especially ex-members. So we hunted him down and we killed him. And we killed him again. And that was pretty much the end of it for that time. And we also managed to work out a way of finding out when he was online. Because his sole aim, other than grinding, seemed to be trying to kill our lobbies. That he was deliberately trying to piss us off. So we worked out a way of finding out when he was online. And when he was online, we'd keep a lookout for him. And if we saw him, we'd kill him. Now, I think this is fair enough. Bearing in mind, this is a PvP server. It's not a Care Bear server. We don't have to follow any particular rules of, oh, well, you can't kill this person. Yes, we can. It's a PvP server. We can kill whoever we like. That's the idea. And the point I'm trying to make right now, and I'm coming to this right now, is this. That this person then went and posted on the forum what was effectively a private guild matter that we thought had been pretty done. We thought it had gone. We thought it had blown over. We thought, well, okay. He's gone. And he's ganked our lobbies. Now, in-game, we will kill him to stop him ganking our lobbies, and that's pretty much it. I will have a joke about it. As you do. As guilds do, the camaraderie thing. They said, hey, look, we found this guy. He was ganking our lobbies, so we killed him. Here's a screenshot of him. Let's laugh at him. So we laughed heartily. As you do as part of a guild. You laugh when someone tries to destroy your guild and gets smacked down. I think that's fair enough. The problem is that the person then went and posted this story on the forums saying, oh, I want to cancel my account because these people have been harassing me. Now, how we were harassing him, I really do not know, because obviously we can't communicate with the lions, and we killed them a couple of times, but nothing major. And this caused a firestorm of flaming ignorance on the European forums. I've never seen anything like it. What you get is, you get people going into this thread, they read the first person's reply, and then they come to a judgment. A one-sided, ignorant judgment, without any grasp of the facts. What happens there is you get drama. And drama generates unpleasantness. And drama, inevitably, every single time, will degenerate into a flame war. And the sad thing is, it was a flame war between the guild, who knew exactly what had happened, and the ignorant, who had no clue. Obviously, not being members of the guild, they're not privy to guild politics. Yes, they had the link to our forums, but that only tells half the story. Because most of the stuff on our forums is said in jest. It's humorous, like many guilds that don't take the game that seriously. It's all said in jest. However, people will go there and deliberately misconstrue it as, oh, well, they play Counter-Strike, they must be 13-year-old kids. They're abusing this poor man, this poor defenseless player. No. Sorry, that was not the case. I'm not going to straighten the story up right now, there's no point. You've heard the story. I'm not going to name the guild, I'm not going to name the person, I don't want to start any more drama, but the point of the matter is something broader. That if it's an in-game, in-guild problem, it should stay in guild, and no one, and I mean absolutely no one, should ever comment on in-guild politics, because it's a bad idea. Because you're never privy to the whole story. Only a member of the guild could possibly comment on in-guild politics, because they are privy to the facts. And if you don't have the facts, then you do not know what's going on, and you can't make a judgment. Do you understand? Now, the internet is like this. It's very easy to be an armchair critic on the internet, and I would condemn anyone that does that. There's a difference between condemning something and arguing and backing up your point, and condemning something without any grasp of any facts or any reasoning. And people will say this. They say, oh, well, opinions are equally valid. It doesn't matter who states them. That would be incorrect also. That is an argument used by people who are too lazy or too stupid to back up their views. What is really the case is your right to an opinion is as valid as anyone else's. That's because we live in a free and open society, to a degree. The main problem is that people think, oh, well, that's an opinion and it's the internet. I can say whatever I like. You know, I can insult racial groups. I can be sexist. I can be homophobic. I can say things which are blatantly outrageous and totally unacceptable in decent society because it's the internet. No one can do anything to me. And think, oh, well, because it's my opinion, well, no one can argue with it. Because it's my opinion and my opinion is gold. Wrong. Absolutely, totally incorrect. It is not. I'll tell you what defines the value of an opinion, and that's how it is expressed. Okay, you've got person A and person A. It's person B, for an example. Let's take a World of Warcraft example. Now, I don't necessarily agree with this, but this is just an example. Person A says this. Right. He says, paladins are gay. They are unbalanced. Person B says this. Paladins are unbalanced because of A, B, and C. Which person's opinion is more valid? Give me the answer and you'll win a cookie, folks. The opinions are not equal, because one has been justified and one is not. One is immature, one is constructive. One is backed up with facts, reasoning, and decent debating skills, and the other one is kidiot-like. It's my new word for the day, folks, kidiot. Use it at some point during this week. Honour the word kidiot. It's unacceptable. And that was a rant. That was my rant for the day. 20 minutes left of the show. So I think it's probably time to introduce another feature of the day. It's No Cake News. And here's a disclaimer for you. The following broadcast will contain satire, irony, sarcasm, and the truth, disguised cunningly as a bunch of lies. If you are likely to be offended by any such broadcast, I would suggest you turn off. Turn off your radio for the next 2.5 minutes or so, while everyone else listens to the Nubcake News. Welcome to this week's edition of Nubcake News. Coming up later, we have a special report on the impending kitten versus giant badger war, which is sure to engulf our civilization. But first, An investigation into Blizzard, creator of the hit board game World of Warcraft, has begun at the Ministry of Financial Affairs in the United States of Europe. It is alleged that Blizzard has been engaging in illegal activities such as making profit and running a company. Naturally, such activities are punishable by death, so this investigation is being taken very seriously indeed. Reactions to this shock story have been coming in from across the world, and a spokesman for the We Hate Blizzard WoW fan club had this to say. With the sheer number of problems in World of Warcraft at this time, we are appalled that Blizzard could even think of making a profit instead of investing more into the game. It's not as if they have to pay for servers or staff. We all know that they just hired a homeless guy to watch over the Pentium 2 box they've got running the game, while the rest of Blizzard are sipping champagne and eating caviar sandwiches at our expense. It's ridiculous that any kind of business could operate in such a fashion. It is clear that Blizzard will start throwing money at the problems this game has immediately, since our head elite internet computer consultant expert says this is the only way to solve them. When asked just where all our hard-earned subscription money was going, Blizzard President Ian What's-His-Face issued the following statement. Porn. We spent it all on porn. Our token ethnic reporter Miss Lakshmi Patel was sent to investigate whether or not this was the case. After a Sam Fisher-style infiltration of Blizzard's secret underground lair on a small volcanic island in the South Pacific, she heroically retrieved Blizzard's accounts, which were lining the litter tray of the president's pet cat, Bootsy. Here are her findings. Blizzard accounts reveal the following expenditures in the past 12 months. 165,000 rehydratable chickens, 150 copies of the MMORPG Coding for Dummies manual, 200 cases of absinthe, 50 Korean slaves, batteries not included, 1 copy of 1001 Ways to Bake Defenseless Puppies, well used, and finally a super mega death ray, capable of destroying a roughly Earth-sized planet. So, nothing unusual there, but the investigation is continuing. If Blizzard are found guilty of earning profit and running a company, they could be sentenced to life in a secret Mars penal colony. We'll bring you more information as it becomes available. This has been Nubcake News. Good night.